One of them?
Yeah, he was, but I ate him alive with liver pits.
And then I ate his liver.
Some fava beans in the first cavity.
Alright, you ready to do some more work?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, well, maybe I heard him. Let's go, baby. Here we go. 2 more rounds, then you're done. Yes. Nice.
So I know him devoutly as Sweetbread. The handful of times I've been around his family, it's Junior, and not a lick of English is spoken. Awesome family, big family man, loves his wife, loves his family, very involved with his family, whether it be his nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters. I've met a handful of them, and they all have great things to say about each other. It's refreshing to see someone like that is still grounded and connected to their family. I mean, we shoot the shit. I call him for advice. I mean, I'm a couple years his senior, but you know, he's already married, balancing the fighting with the working and whatnot. And if there's someone that I need advice from, he's usually one of the first people I call. You know, Loco kept building him up. Hey, I got this guy. It'll be great for you. Solid wrestler, another southpaw, you know, you could say the rest is history. We've been on a roller coaster together, always strong training partners, always getting work with each other, always pushing each other. You know, thankful enough now to call him one of my really good friends. Every time he gets in that cage, you know, I expect great things out of him. He's not a boring fighter. He goes out there, he puts it all on the line. I mean, he probably goes through it in his head and he's ready to die out there. I mean, it takes a certain type of person to get into that cage, and then it takes another type of person to be successful in that cage. And anytime he walks up those steps, I'm expecting big things out of him. So there's nothing different on this fight November 2nd. I mean, he's going in there and he's getting that belt put around his waist before he comes home.
We're here live, Triforce MMA, fucking Rhode Island. Just the grindhouse. Man, Kody Nordby. Got a bunch of studs here. Get some working.
Kody found a way to get me out of my element, you know. And he found a way just to kind of talk some shit and get under my skin. And he knew in order to beat me, I had to come forward for him to get the takedown and try to take me down. And he just played it smart, man. Now we get along well, we train together. I learned a lot from that fight. I learned to not allow that, to allow an opponent or fans and family and friends to let them dictate what needs to be done in the fight. I need to dictate that, and I need to stick to the game plan, listen to my corner, stay composed, and carry out the plan. You know, he's as legit as they come as well, and it wasn't a fluke win, you know, but I think if we ran the fight back now, knowing and looking in hindsight, you know, I think it would go differently, but you know, I'm thankful for it.
I spent a lot of time working in the restaurant. I've worked in the back, washing dishes, but mainly I worked in the front, busting tables and kind of doing a little bit of everything. One of the most memorable moments I've had with my father, we were driving to the airport and he was heading out to Portugal. It was actually when I was going throughout the fighting, and it was one thing my father said, and we talked about our name and we talked about our culture, and he said that if you go around, you have CPAs, you have lawyers, and you have all these other people, he says, but there's only one Dinis Paiva, you being the second. So he's always pushed for us to blaze our own trail, make our own way, work hard at what we do, but more importantly, love what you do. My dad loves what he's done. He's done it for himself. No one did anything for him. Busted his ass for years. He worked 14 years without taking a vacation, and we hear about that often. Everything my father has today, he's developed on his own. He's a self-made man, and I honor that. My mom flies in and out for fights. She's been up for a few. She's flying up for this fight, and I've never lost any combative match or anything in front of my mom. Boxing, wrestling, MMA, I've never lost in front of my mother, and she's flying up, so she's like my good luck charm.
When is Sweetbread going to have a loaf in the oven?
we're shooting for, man. We're trying as much as we can, and you know, I'm a little bit of a religious guy, so I place it in the faith. The big gun's upstairs. He runs the show. When our time comes, yeah. I don't think too much about retiring from fighting, but I think the only thing that would take me away from fighting happily is fatherhood. So I think once that time comes, I'll hang up the gloves and put away the training bag and pick up a diaper bag and move on to the next chapter of my life, man. I'm really looking forward to being a father at some point in my life. When I started talking to babies in public and thinking about like what it'd be like with my own baby, that's when I was like, all right, you know, it's that time that we got to start trying. So it's been about a year that we've been kind of, you know, working on it little by little, and again, you know, when our time comes. I thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's a nice gesture, man. So as good as a father I'm gonna be, my wife is gonna be that much better as a mother.
That's great.
And I see that in her. And as weird as it seems, or sounds, I should say, I see a lot of my mom in my wife. As far as the caregiving, a nurturing, caring personality, my wife will do anything for anybody. Dude, I tell you, man, I walk in my house, I make a mess, she cleans, she cooks, she does laundry, she works, she pays bills, she doesn't go, wow, she's just the best, man, and I wouldn't be who I am without hers, you know, and I try to put it out there, you know, I try to my wife's the shit, and if you follow me on social media, you guys know, I'm always putting my wife out there, because she deserves it, man, she's a great girl. And I wouldn't be half the man I am today without her. I know that. You know, 2 years to get ready for that wedding. And till this day, it's been by far the best day of my life.
That's great.
Where when the wedding came, it rained a bit. It had no effect whatsoever. We had some great pictures taken that day. And the fact that we kind of banked on some type of breakout, some type of episode to happen that day, and nothing. It was by far the greatest day of my life. And I'm hoping that November 2nd will be the second greatest day of my life.
Follow us on Instagram, watch us on YouTube, check us out on Facebook, visit us on Twitter, and stay tuned.